Alrighty. What's going on, Optimus? Today is Monday, December 2nd, 2024, and 24 is almost over. So, first things first, as always, let's go ahead and check the economic calendar. Let's get switched over to the right week. I guess it's Cyber Monday today. All right, so we already had the PMI that came out at 6:45, so just a minute or so, 3 minutes ago. PMI came in at 49.7. The forecast is 48.8, so a little bit better than the forecast. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we've got construction spending month-over-month. We've got ISM manufacturing data. And then at 8:30, we just have some treasury auctions, and 12:15 and 1:30, we've got some Fed speeches. So about 10 minutes is the construction and ISM manufacturing. Right now, it's the PMI data. So let's go ahead and dive on in here. This is oil. Apparently what I was trading last. ES hit new highs. All the way up at 60.57. Got a high of 6.62. Pretty crazy, actually. I'm gonna check this on the 1 minute chart. I wanted to grab that right there, but I actually just want to check this against some of its other movement first. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this.
Order filled.
All right, in 3 contracts, looking to get out at 60.59. It might be a little aggressive, actually, but I think it's a little aggressive for a trade. Try and get out of 58.50. Pulling back some. Might need to cut this, actually. Pulling down to 55. Yeah, we're out of that.
Order filled.
So first trade of the day, loss of 575. So we're gonna have to work our way back from that. Fun times. So the reason why I took that trade in the first place was on the 1 minute chart. We were getting that red yellow, but that red yellow failed. I realized that I purchased on the red yellow and didn't wait for the full confirmation. But the other reason why I bought this was I was looking for a push back up to test 60.60, and we didn't get that push. Market's still looking bullish today, though. We'll try to cut the losers a little faster than that. I don't really like often trading after long breaks. I like, just a normal weekend a lot of the time. I'm going to look for a cyan switch here on the 10 second. You can see a 5200 kind of stacking up, though. So we may actually fall as we get closer to 7 o'clock. And then we potentially, my guess is that we're going to pull back some until we get closer to 7. And then have a push up back then. or at that time. And the reason why I'm looking towards a push up and not a pull back, even though the market's at new highs, is it just looks really bullish. We got a downward cross right there, 5,200 on the 10. I'm tempted to take a long here just because of the way that it's stacking on the chart itself. So you can see we kind of found a bottom right there, some support along that line. Trying to draw, getting nothing. There we go. So that's off 53. We had that resistance. It sort of hit at 58. Right there. Be impatient. Could have used a little bit more patience on that first trade. You see the trail. Trail's at 1330, so we're alright. There's a cyan switch there, but with 5,200 on the down and no other crossovers. Five to 7. I'm gonna peek in on oil too. Just gonna throw an alert on oil. Back over to the ES, checking on the 1 minute side. I'm cool with the ES as low as about 60.51, maybe 60.50. 60.51 being the opening range and 50 being the VWAP there. Pulling back to the opening range, kind of sitting on it. Normally this is a good buy spot or a sell spot, depending on whether you're bullish or bearish. You can see it start to bounce right there. Bouncing slightly off that opening range. I'm going to set a long here.
Order filled.
Banking off that support area at 60.50 and that opening range. And looking for a push up towards 55, which would just be right here at the 50 moving average. Down slightly in the trade, about 3 ticks. 6:58, coming up, approaching 7 o'clock. That's, what the heck, man? Quite the pullback right there. Entrance is 52. Looking for a 7 ticker on this. It's 52 and a quarter. Back to flat on the trade. As we approach 7 o'clock. 1 minute. Tapping 53. Our cyan switch there. $53.50 and our exit's at $53.75, so very close. Yeah, slight bit more push than what we got. $10 seconds to 7. We've only hit $53.50.
Order filled.
All right, we got that trade. So that did pull us back up a bit. That one was worth about $260. There's a big fat spike for 7 o'clock. Knew it felt like it could have gone for like 12 ticks, but you know, you never know. 7 o'clock, rushing up. Throw us at 4 ticks here. I'm gonna give that just a couple seconds to breathe. BRB, I was just gonna. This looks to me like we got to push inbound. Big pop up there to 57. Getting a nice pullback here on the 1 minute side. Almost switching to cyan. Let's see if we can get an entrance around 55 and a quarter or so. I'm gonna pull that trade off. I feel like this is gonna try to make an attempt towards 60-60 here in the next minute or so. I want to grab that rip. You got this U-shaped pattern right here. TTM's at 0.1 on the 1 minute side on a red dot. 912, almost 912.26 cross. We got 912, but no 26 yet. Maybe we can get like a 2 minute pullback. That'd be really great. I'd love to see the TTM switch over to green. The green dot. Glad I pulled that trade off. This I totally felt to go for like 12 ticks and didn't do it. Probably should have. But we grabbed 7 on it, so we recovered half our loss. That was a good trade though, just buying at the opening range and looking at it from a support and resistance perspective. You know, like you see this actually hit the resistance level that we drew in pretty much exactly. In fact, I might even move this down slightly just to have more points popping through that resistance. Just gonna check in with y'all's. All right, so we're getting some pullback off that 7 o'clock rip. Now 7:03. Still a couple, still some divergence to this 5200 cross here, and the 1 minute side still doesn't have its cyan switch. 0.3 now, pulling down to 0.4. Totally should have shorted on that first trade. You can see right there that resistance level. Is the music too loud, y'all? I feel like I'm yelling. Maybe it's just loud on my side, because I think I checked it on the other side. It seems good. Alright, so 3 minute pullback followed by a doji there. This could be a bounce at this particular point here, but it looks like we're still pulling back some. Nine dipping below 12 on the 1 minute side. I need to see 1226 cross on the 1 minute in order to go long on that, like watching that. Kind of ranging now. You pop there. Popping from 53 to 55. It just can't seem to finish its conversion. There's a cyan switch there on the 1 minute. Negative 0 or 0.2. Nothing strong yet, and all red dots. I think we need to see a little bit more buying pressure in order to really go attack this. Looking for some certain crossovers here. Not really seeing anything just yet. Pulling back towards the opening range again. GTM at 0.1 on the 1 minute. Pretty flat. I want to see one more pullback. Can we get one more? Right there.
Order filled.
Long off 55. We're going to get out at 56. I think I should push to 57. I'll keep it at the 56. I'd rather just take a second trade.
Order filled.
All right, got that trade. Top ticked it. Glad I kept it at the 56. I felt like I was good. Like I'm like, I think it's gonna pop up to the resistance at 57. I was like, don't get greedy, man. That felt to me like it was a greed demon that was trying to like be like, you know, and attack me. So I was like, nah, I ain't having that. So I'm glad we didn't pull that 150. Still red on the day from that first trade. I don't know why I've had to keep going through the same pattern for the last 2 months, where we start off with a big loss and then work our way back. It's pretty annoying, but it's what we've been doing. At least we're working our way back. But there's obviously something going on in my psychology that's causing that. And it typically seems to happen on Mondays. So it's happened a couple of times. Actually, it's happened quite a few times on Mondays, where I'm taking these like big fat losses and then working my way back. Pretty annoying, but there's something happening in my psychology that I'm trying to understand that's causing that. Oh yeah, I got sick over the weekend for like a day, like the day after Thanksgiving I was sick. Like the night of, I was fine, and then like during Thanksgiving I just started getting like worse. And then toward the end of the night, by the time I went to bed, I was just like, I felt awful. And the next day I just felt terrible. Black Friday, I just slept for like half the day. Try to get better. I got tea all up in my mustache. By the way, y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Helps us grow this channel. It's actually pretty challenging to grow a streaming channel. Respect for anybody who's been able to actually create it and have it grow. 0.5 on TTM1. Still on these red dots. I have not switched to a green dot. I feel like once we switch to a green dot, this thing could fly. But there's a lot of price suppression happening through this range. On approach again for another 5,200 attempts. Now this 50 or this 200 is below the view app 10. 0.49. I'm gonna check in on oil real fast. Still continuing to drop. There's that rip. This is the rip we've been looking for a really long time. Just pull right back. Look at that, man. Just keeps trying to trick people or something into going long. A big fat rip followed by a big fat dump. Rip and dump. This one does look like it's got more confirmation behind it though. There's 60.56. TTM's now at 1.1 on a red dot still. You see that 9, 12, 26 cross over there though on the 1 minute? outside of that TTM, this looks good. But you can see that TTM showing how much price suppression is actually happening there. So yellow on the 10 right before the cyan switch is given like a huge fat rip. You can see it here, see it here, and here. It happened 3 times. There's a 5200 cross on the 10 second. It feels like a long right here. Let's see. So we got that U shape followed by. It's kind of a big ABCD. Finally broke out somewhat. TTM's at 1.3, a red dot. A lot of big up wicks. That was a buy location. That 55 zone that I was looking at. In that resistance spot at 57. TTM now at 1.4 on a red dot. Kind of surprised it won't switch green. And you can see right there, there's that resistance that we've marked in here. So we have this triple top resistance here, here, and here. And it's sort of like looking back, you can see why that first trade was so bad. Because I bought into resistance again. I actually bought slightly above it. Getting some pullback here. It's getting kind of choppy. Honestly, I want to see this pullback to like 55 and then just bounce and rip through. The rip through 57, though, is going to have to happen with some really strong gusto. It's going to have to happen in order to break towards and test the highs. Pull back there to 55, bouncing up to 56. Oil's still dropping. So oil's up slightly. Like the opening is at like 68. Yeah, like 68 exactly. But it's just been selling off for a good long time. For oil, if I'm gonna trade this, I want to see a break above 25, 68.25. Throw another alert on it. Yes, treading water. going sideways. It just can't break that 57 area. But look at the support off of 53 and that range there from 53 to 57. Like this whole section. Big sell off there. Not that big. I mean, $1. Whoopity doo. Yeah, it's like $1.50. 6.6. It's not huge. But it started to trend downward a little bit. Account's still in green territory. But a little bit of an L on the day at the moment. Oil's starting to look kind of decent. Big pop there. Someone's been putting in 200 contracts on oil, which is enough to give us some movement, but not enough to really like make crazy momentum changes. ES down to 53s. Well, I want to see this crossover here. Oil's getting a little bit of a push. It's got its lows down there around 68.15. Currently sitting around 68.27. And where does this have room to? Room to about 65. 68.65. That's a big amount of room. Just ripped up there.
Order filled.
Kind of missed it. Kind of popped before I was expecting it to. In at 32. We're going to get out at 36.
Order filled.
Took that trade off there. Hit about $90 on that. Could have probably made more. I kind of dropped it slightly. So we got like one contract that filled at 36 and one that filled at 35. After the third. Oh, two at 36. Okay, cool. Well, at least two filled at the higher amount. I want to see a pullback here and then see if I can grab it, but it might just rip. We can get a pullback down to like 27. That's like hot. I'm expecting some resistance around 68.50 though. Well, how's that cross? It's 42. 45. was hoping for a pullback right there. I think we have room up to 65 though.
Order filled.
Took a long at 46. It's way high. Like way higher than I wanted to. Like I said, I wanted a pullback, but oil really requires a lot of patience. Peaked at 48.
Order filled.
Pulled that trade off with just like $30 or something. Looks like it actually popped up. See? I guess we got 60 on it. Damn, could have gone for my whole trade twice. Oil ripping. Just not really providing many pullbacks. More like entry zones. So we exited on this entry zone and entered on that one. So we at least got a good entrance here. But I think I got a little bit scared and pulled the trade off too early on both of them, actually. I want to see a quick rejection off of 50, maybe pull back to like 40, 68, 40. That'd look really good. 10-second or a 10-cent pullback. I think that would look really good. ES up there at 56s again. I hate that the alert sound is the exact same sound that it makes when you fail. I'm like, huh? What just happened? I want to see oil pull back a little bit because I actually think we got room up to 65, 68, 65. Maybe even 68, 75. But I want to see some pullback to like 68, 40 would be ideal. Not going to get it. Just bounced off of 50. Tried to go long off 60. Missed it. So there's 68, 65, the area I said that I had room to. Breaking through that, pushing 70 now, 68, 70. 68, 73 is the 200 moving average on the 1 minute side. So we may see some rejection there off 68, 73 or 75. I gotta do one attempt. One time I have to try this where I just buy on this cross and let it run. Pushing up again to 68.73, 74. It's right on that 200 moving average. I would really prefer to see a rejection here for a minute. Just a pullback to the VWAP would look really nice. That was a really nice pullback. It actually looked much better on the 1 minute than it did on the 10. Bouncing from 70 to 74. ES is also testing that resistance zone. ES has just proven itself to just be a choppy punk. It finally got a green dot though. It's right on that resistance. Oil at 68.70s. Finally getting some pullback here. This is what we want to see. I want to see a pullback to the VWAP, preferably. Which should be about to 57-ish. Ten seconds left in that 1 minute candle. There's 68.64. Alright, red on TTM 10. We'll look for a reversal to this. Not a downward reversal, although a short off 75 would look good.
Order filled.
In long at 62. Look for an exit at 67. Might be a little early to the party. $65, kind of pulling back some off 65. Yeah, 65 has a little bit of resistance there. Trying to get out of 64. I think it's gonna pop though. Not pop, but I mean like, I think it'll, try to test 70 again. 63. Nine dipping below the 35. Yeah, it's definitely too early to this party. 5. 7 ticks. I don't need to see this pop right here. Push up some. 0.03. A little too much pullback for this. Come on. 0.34, 0.32. Yeah. It's kind of struggling. There's 61. Almost back to break even. Can we get 65, please? Come on now. I should have been more patient on that trade. Kind of watching the volume. Volume surged, but it only pushed to 61. Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to cut this one. It's kind of running into resistance there at 61. All right, we out on that. That was a $450 loss. I shouldn't have let that loss grow that big. Pretty much just negated all that work that we just did. Down 537. I definitely shouldn't have let that loss grow that big. I had one op to get out with profit and two ops to get out almost break even, although those were kind of instant. But I could have got out with like a $90 loss or something. That would have been fine. Put up on 730. And the ES is just a choppy punk. Not loving the ES. It's just way too choppy. Oil ended up pulling back a little bit more than I was expecting. I was expecting a bounce off this VWAP here. We exited on the EMA 35 right there at 46, where we got into this trade over here. Account's still green slightly, but kind of treading water a little bit. $7.39. ES is making an attempt for the high. It's got the resistance at 60.60. CTM's only at 3.3, but look how choppy this is. Look how many dojis that is. I'm really tired of these choppy markets, man. I know they say sell in May and go away, but this is like sell in December and remember that it will be choppy. Anybody ever traded the Russell? The Russell 2000? Sort of looks at a short right here. 9/12/26 crossover to the downside. Fresh red on TTM. ES is chopping out at 60.60. Kind of trying to test the high, but struggling a bit. It was a bit more sell-off than I was expecting on oil. Absolutely should have taken more of an aggressive stance on the rip up. But I might call it here. Just take my loss. Did work my way out of that hole for the most part. Got to almost break even. And then took a, another 450 loss. So I will say oil's a little bit easier to manage risk on though than the ES these days. ES falling down pretty heavily. Big rejection off of 60, pulling back to 59. I'll have to see if 57 holds support there. That was a short on oil, by the way. It did end up dropping. Gave back most of its gains. And 745. $746. Yeah, I think I'm gonna walk on trading today. I don't really feel it. Negative 500, not too bad. I've certainly had worse days. And we, as far as our trading goes, we actually did pretty decent in terms of trading. It's just we took the two big losses. But our trading itself was pretty on point. So that tells me a couple things. Obviously, the same thing that I've learned 1,000 times over, which is manage risk better, take smaller losses. And that really comes down to being able to not just have a trail, but being able to have an exit plan on your trade. So I think that'd be a little bit. I think that would be useful. Would be to kind of write an exit plan in, or plan for an exit. Would be a little bit better in terms of managing my risks. But ES getting super choppy. Oil's move is over. I think I'm done for the day. So, what's up, Tiny? I'm glad you ended up green today. I like oil too. It's just slow. I wish I had a little bit more volume. Oil was where I made most of my profits today, but of course I gave it back on oil too. So, easy come, easy go. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna give it another whirl. So, shockingly, yeah, I know, right? All right, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace out for now.